Alright gamers, so we're gonna do lab 7 now. This one's been taking me a while because I've been focusing more on the project, so I apologize for that. So with that, we're just gonna jump right into it. So we're gonna be making this kind of pipe structure here. So what we're gonna do is go into our front plane because this is our front view. Yep. So in our front view, I'm just gonna make like an L kind of shape. Bam, bam. We'll make this part that juts out here right now too in the sketch, but we're gonna mess with that later. Actually, let me do the fillet first before I do that. So this has to be 90 degrees. Oh wait, let me set the dimensions for this, so that way it doesn't get confused. 175. This is 145 plus the distance of this, so that's 145 plus 25, which should be 170. Yep. Okay, just like that. Fillet, 90 millimeters right there, just like that. Okay, now we're just gonna make another sketch that goes all the way out here. And this one is gonna be, what is this one? 240. 240 millimeters. There you go. Okay, so now that we have all of this, what we're gonna do is exit the sketch, and we are going to go into features, reference geometry, plane, click on this point and this point, and then we're gonna make a circle on here, right on this sketch, on this plane. So right there. And this is gonna be the actual like base pipe here. So the diameter of this specific pipe is 97 diameter, but we could also just use this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use this top one, 65, and I'm going to exit the sketch really quick. Swept bosser base on this curve, and this curve. We can't choose this one because then it won't be a continuous line. And yeah, I'm gonna make this a thin feature. And so 97 minus 65 will give you 32. So that means that there's a difference in diameter of 32. So divide that by 2 to get a radius of 16. So it's gonna have 16 millimeters on this side and this side, which would make a difference of 32 millimeters. So with that, yeah, this is what it should look like. So if we evaluate and measure the outside of this diameter, this is going to be 97, and this one is going to be 65. Yep. Okay, so now that we have those done, what we're going to do is make these, I don't know what they're called, the ends of the pipes. Yeah. So on our front plane that we did already, we're just going to make 2 circles, one on the outer one and one on the, like the outside one. So this one is just going to be the same diameter as the outside of the pipe. This one is going to be 225. Yep. And then we need to make another circle that is our guide circle, right, for the inside. So this is going to be for construction, and we're going to set this to be 185 millimeters. Yep. Okay. And then at the very bottom, we're just going to make another circle, and this one is going to be for the holes that we're going to make on this. So this is going to have a diameter of 20.5. There you go. Just like that. So circular sketch pattern this, we're going to do 8 of them. Yep, just like that. Move this around a little bit, get the center point, and then make that coincide with the center of the pipe. Yep, and so everything's not fully defined. We can exit the sketch, and then extrude bosser base. We want this to go into the other side, because we took this length as well, so this has to go in 25. So make this 25. Yep. Alright, now basically do the same thing, but on this one. Make a plane on the top of that. Make sure that the offset is not something other than 0. Sketch on this. And then make sure that this is the same as the outer edge. Outside circle. Have the inside be set to 97. Have the outside set to 225. Have another circle in here. That's for construction, for your guide. So this is going to be, what was it? 185. Yep. And then another circle here at the very bottom. That is 220.5. Yep. And then with that, circular sketch pattern this 8 times. Move this a little bit. Set the center of this to be coincident with that. There we go. Now it's fully defined. And then extrude bosser base down 25 millimeters. Just like that. And then we can hide these planes afterwards. Yeah. Okay, so now in order to make this part, we're gonna go into the sweep thin. Yeah, this is the sketch. On here, we're not actually gonna edit the sketch. What we're gonna do is go in here. Let's see. Can I make this visible? Yes, I can. Okay. So with this making this visible, we can just make another plane at the end of this. So click that endpoint, that line, just like that. Okay, and now we can sketch on this. So what we're gonna do with this is we are going to just make 3 circles. Okay, so the 3 circles are because there is the inner circle that actually goes through the entire pipe all the way in. This middle circle is going to be for this slightly larger hole that comes out at the end of this pipe. And then the largest one is for the pipe that actually sticks out. So this one is going to be, it says in here, not in here, in here, that this circle has a radius of 20. So we're going to make that one 20. This one has a radius of 24, so you have a radius of 24, or a diameter of 24. Yes. Okay, and then this one has a diameter of 50. Okay. Yeah, so now that we have all these circles, what we're going to do is do an extrude cut with the very innermost one, right? So with this one, I'm just going to set this to be up to next, so that way it cuts all the way through this. Okay, so yeah, now it makes a hole through there. Going to reselect our sketch. I'm going to make an extrude now for this and not this one. I wanted this one. There we go. I want this to go up to next as well. Okay. Right. Okay. And now we're just going to do one last thing, and this is the extrude cut, this part, which goes in. We're going to make this blind. This goes in 28 millimeters. So this goes in 28. There we go. So now we should have this kind of lip that comes out from the inside of this pipe. Yeah. Okay, so with that, this is what our part looks like. Let me hide this sketch really quick. Yep. So it should look something like this. Let's see what material he wanted us to use. Plastic PVC rigid, what is the mass of the volume? So add material, and then plastic PVC, or just let me just look up PVC. PVC rigid, there we go. Okay, and then evaluate the mass properties. Our mass was 3666.12 grams. Volume was 2820089.38. Surface area was 342308.27. Yep. Nice. Okay, let's move on. Alright guys, so we're going to be doing problem 2 now. So this one is kind of a little bit of a mess. So let's go into a new part really quick. So what we're going to do first is, because this part is curved and this part is higher than the other, we're just going to start off with the base, right? So for the base, go into our top plane. We're going to sketch on this. We're just going to make a square right on the origin. Make this, how tall is this? 75. Yes. And then make this 100. Okay. We're going to fillet the corners to be 5 millimeters, I believe. 10 millimeters. 10. Okay. U and U. But the bottom ones are fine. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit. Alright. So with here, now we just need to make these holes. So I'm just going to make a center line from the midpoint of U to U. Like that. I'm gonna not perimeter circle, I just want a normal circle. U and U, right? So these need to be set to 10, whoa, that is 10 millimeters diameter for both. I keep saying it as 1. Hold up, 10, there we go. Okay, the space between this point and this point should be 50. The space between this point and this line should be 25. And the distance between this point and, between this point and this line should be 10. Yep. And then this one, I'm just gonna set this to be, horizontal with this one. And then I'm just gonna mirror both of these to across this center line that we did. And then we're gonna extrude. doesn't really matter how I extrude this, just as long as it gets extruded. This needs to be 20 millimeters tall. There we go. Okay. So from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a plane right in the middle, because what we're gonna work on next is this guide curve that we're gonna use later, right? So we're gonna make this guide curve, so we need a midplane. Midplane right about here, right? I guess we could have also just used our, what? Oh, never mind. I thought we could have used our right plane, but I guess not. So on this plane, we're just going to start sketching. I'm just going to use the center point arc. I'm just going to set the start right there, make sure that's right here, and make sure that this is a 90-degree angle. Okay, so I need to set the radius of this to be 50. And then I need to set this point to be, what is this? 16 from the origin. So I need to set U and U to be 16 tall. And I also need to set U and origin to be 142.5 far. Okay, there we go. And this point is still undefined. I'm gonna just set that to be vertical to this because that's what it's like on the drawing. Okay. So with this, yeah, we can work with this. Yeah. Okay. So now that we have that guide curve, what we're gonna do is do this square now. So to do this, I'm just gonna make another plane on the end of this point that is also gonna use our top plane as a second reference. So that way it's perfectly, oh, did I make it or did I clicked X? It's U and then our top plane. There we go. Yeah. So just like that. And then on this, we're just going to start sketching our next square. So our next square is going to be like this. It's going to be 45 millimeters wide. What is this? 50 millimeters tall, or 60 millimeters tall, my bad. Yep. 60 millimeters tall, and we are going to fillet the corners really quick. So these need to be 5. Yep. So 5, whoops, 5 for U, U, and U, and U. Okay, there we go. And then we're just going to set the midpoint of this line, if I can find it. It doesn't really matter, actually. What I need to do is I just need to set... Let me put in a center line here. Maybe that'll make it easier. Just put a center line in here, because I'm going to need it anyway. Make this point and this point coincident. Okay, so now this outer edge is fully defined. Okay. And then I'm just going to set the lines for the circles. So these need to be what? You need to be 7 millimeters wide. So there we go, and there we go. Then they need to be 25 millimeters apart. That's 255. Oh my god. 225. There we go. Yes. Okay. And then the space between you and the wall is 10. And the space between you and this wall is also 10, I believe. Well, it says 30 from apart from each other. So I can just... Oh, no, yeah, it is 10. Never mind. I didn't see that one. Okay. And then this one should... Yeah, I just need to set you to be horizontal. Okay, there we go. Mirror these. Okay. And then when we extrude this, this needs to be a midplane because we need this guide curve to be right in the middle of this, so that's why we need that to be a midplane. The actual width of this needs to be 15 millimeters. Yeah, so that's the height. Okay. We can hide this plane again. Alright, so for the guide curve, this is going to be a bit of a tricky part. So for here, I'm just going to make a sketch. So here it says that the actual like part that curves in, at the end, it has a width of 25. So what we're going to do is just make that as a rectangle, right? So this has to be 25 millimeters wide. Yes. I'm going to move this rectangle over here for a little bit because I just need to make a center line right there that goes all the way down. Okay? Move the rectangle back in, make U, U, and U symmetrical to each other. There we go. So now all of this is fully defined. I can exit this sketch now. I'm going to sketch on the top of this. I'm going to make, so at the very bottom of this is basically just a rectangle. So I'm just going to make a rectangle from this point to this line, like that. And because this has a radius of 15, this like kind of curved bit, that means that the end of this should be 15 millimeters wide. Yeah, just like that. Okay. So with this, we can do a loft between, let's do this point and this point of the sketch. Yeah. If for some reason it becomes twisted like this, or it doesn't even show up like that, it's probably because of these green points. These are just to determine like where the beginning and the end is for the loft. So I need this to be all the way over here on this side for this to be straight. Yeah. Okay. So here comes the tricky part, right? If I choose a guide curve like this, right, and I try to select that, it's going to tell me that the guide curve number 1 is invalid because it does not intersect with section number 1. So this error, I don't really know how to fix. As far as I know from reading through forums, it's because these guide curves do not fully intersect the sketch, and even though I've tried making it go all the way through the part and like physically pierce the sketch too, it still does not want to work as a guide curve. But what I found that does work is going down here to centerline parameters. Let me unselect this one really quick. This purple box, I'm just going to select the guideline for that. If I can select it, there we go. And if I click check on this, then it will let you, right? But for some reason, when you use it as an actual guide curve, it won't. But yeah, just use it as a centerline parameter and it should let you do it. So with that, let's see, what's next? So we need to make another fillet here at the very ends that are 5 millimeters. So we're gonna just choose fillet, make sure that this is set to 5, select this line, and then select check, and there we go. So that's our fillets for that. So what we're gonna do next, actually I don't need to make a new plane, because now we need to do the rib, right? The rib is actually really easy. So for the rib, we can just choose our plane 1, because I'm pretty sure that, yeah, this intersects the entire thing. Not edit feature. I wanted to sketch on this. Okay, there we go. Make this a little bit bigger. Okay. So in this sketch, what we're gonna do is just make a line from here to, I'll just say right here. Doesn't really matter where. And then we're just gonna make an arc, make sure it hits the end of this, and goes all the way to the other side somewhere. Doesn't really matter, because I'm just gonna set this to be the midpoint for this line. Yep. I'm gonna set this to be tangent with this line. There we go. Okay. So now we need to set the height and length of this. So the height, I'm pretty sure that if I try to set the length, it's already set. Yeah, it's 165. If I try to set the radius, let me set the radius for this angle really quick, for this arc I mean. So this needs to be a radius of 60. Okay. So now I need to set the height of U and U, right? No, from here to the origin. I need to set the height of this to be 90. So here's the thing, right? If I just select that and this, it'll go straight to the center of the arc. So to change that, I have to go over here to leaders, and at the very bottom it says arc condition. So first arc condition, if I choose center, it will take the dimension from the center. If I choose minimum, it's going to choose from the minimum of the arc, and if I choose maximum, it's going to choose the maximum of the arc, right? So I need to set this to be maximum, and then I need to change this to be 90, just like that. And so that's it for that part, I believe. Yeah, okay. Because after this, we can just do, we can exit the sketch and do a, actually, I don't think I was supposed to exit the sketch. Hold on. Go back into the sketch, edit sketch, go into features, and rib. Yeah, there we go. So the width of this rib needs to be 10 millimeters. Yep. So this needs to go on the inside like this. So if I just click check on this, yeah, it should work. Yeah, so this should be your part. All right, let's see. If the material is stainless steel, what is the mass of the model? So stainless steel, ISI 304. Here it is. And I set this to have a mass properties. Let's see. So mass properties, mass is 2218.27, volume is 277,283.7, surface area is 49277.13. There we go. So that's it for the lab. Yeah. All right, so because of popular demand, shout out to Michael. What I'm gonna also add into this video is I'm gonna try to do this example 31 from lecture 19, the exhaust manifold. I just wanted to add this in here for extra practice, and just because this goes over some something important about the like linear pattern feature, and also just the swept bosom base. Like, it's just good practice for that. So we're just gonna go over it really quick. So looking at this, we're going to start with our front plane. We're just going to make this simple line right here to make this bottom tube, right? We did this in class once, but that was a bit ago, so I don't know if people would really, like, I don't know, remember how to exactly do it. But it's something like this, right? And we need to set this whole length to be 800. Yeah. Make sure it's slanted and not like fully straight, because sometimes when you dimension this and then goes like this, it will give you that angle, but that's not what it's supposed to be. Okay. Once we do that, we're gonna do the fillets on the corners. So this has to be 130 millimeters. Has to be here and here. Yep. After that, we can set the length for this to be, whoops, not like that. I need this to also be at a slant. Like this. We need to set this to be 75, and this one to also be set to, I believe, 75. Yes. Okay. Just like that. I'm gonna make a center line here for that 10-degree angle, right? I'm just gonna beep, boop, and then make this 10. There we go. Okay. So now the only thing that's left, if I move this around, is this arc, right? It says here that that arc is horizontal to the center point. So I'm just going to do this, and then make that horizontal. There you go. So now everything's mostly fully defined. It's just this center line arc that, it's just the center line that isn't. I could maybe just make this, coincident with this. Yeah, now it's fully defined. Okay. We can exit the sketch now, and we can go into a reference pattern, or a reference geometry, and make a plane on the end of this point that goes down this line, right? The same way that we've been using swept boss or base. I accidentally undid it. Okay, there we go. Let's sketch on this. So from here to here, the diameter of this circle, which is detail B, is 100 millimeters. So I need to make this 100, right? Okay. Now with that, I'm going to go to swept boss or base with this line. I'm going to make this a thin feature, and the radius, like the thickness of the wall, should be 10. So I can just set that to be 10 as well. I have to make sure it's on the outer edge though, which it is. Okay. So this is what we have now. So now we're just going to make this bottom face, right? So back on this same plane that we just made, plane 1, just sketch on this. I kind of want a bottom view on this, so let me go Control 6, and then move this up a little bit. That works. Let's do a center line from right here, where the origin is, and let's do a center point arc from the inner circle, just all the way around, just like that. Yeah, just like this. And then I'm just going to make another circle from here that goes out, just like that. Have this have a radius of, I believe, 85. Yep. So this has a radius of 85. I have to go over here and make another circle, just like this. This needs to have a radius of 35, or in diameter, so this just needs to be 35 times 2, which is 70. Yeah. So from there, from here to here, or, yeah, from here to here, from the origin, not from the midpoint of the center line. This should be, if the radius of this is 85 and the radius of that is 35, then it should be both of them combined. So 85 plus 35, which should just be 120. Yeah. So this just needs to be 120. Then we have to make the lines that are like connected to both circles. So this edge to this edge I need to be careful that when I make these, I'm not making them like at a point or something. You can see the little symbol right next to the pencil that tells you what it's going to be. So I want this to be coincident with that, and coincident and also tangent with this. That's what that means. So now both of these circles are now tangent with that. So it wiggles around like how I want it to. Okay. So now I can just set this to be horizontal with that, and now everything should be fully defined. So I'm gonna delete those because I don't need them. I'm gonna make a center rectangle right here. Whoops. Right here. I'm gonna make the height and width of this to be 30. Just like this. Yes. And then I'm just gonna make a mirror entities. I'm just gonna select everything. And mirror about this line. Yeah. Okay, so the only thing that we need to set again is the diameter of this circle. So this needs to be just 100. There we go. Okay, so yeah, this is a fully defined sketch. So we can extrude this. We have to extrude this, I believe, out. Yeah, we do, because the end of the line ends here, so this has to be extruded outwards. So I need to select this to go, I need this to be blind. I need to get this to go the other direction, about 20 millimeters. There you go. So that's the bottom face of that. Okay, so now we just need to make this part that curves out from here, it curves in. So on our planes, yeah, we're gonna make a plane right where the sketch for this is. So if I go over here to the sweep that we made and I make this sketch be visible, I can select the point, and then I can also select my right plane. Yeah, so I need this to be facing this way, and I need this to be like in the center of this, right? So I have this mid plane now. Yeah. So now with this, I'm just gonna sketch on this, and I'm gonna do an arc, because the beginning of this is also an arc. It's like, it's this part right here. So I need to set that arc there, and then I need to put a line at the end of it. Okay. So this, yeah, that's coincident with that line, so that's fine. I need to set the radius of this to be 100. Yes, okay. And then I need to set the radius of this to also be 100, or the length of this to also be 100. Then I need to set the point of this and the point of this to be horizontal. And I need to set these two to be tangent. Okay, there we go. So now all of this is fully defined, so we can just exit the sketch for now, do a sweep bosser base with that being the path and this face being the actual sketch profile. And yeah, we'll just have that go through the rest of that. Right, and we can hide this plate for now. Actually, no, we'll need it later. Okay, so now we just need to do the same thing that we did with this back part and just do it again on this one. So I'm just going to do a plane here onto this face, make sure it doesn't have a offset to it. Sketch on this part. I'm just going to do same thing that we did on the other one. I'm just going to make a center line from here, make a circle that is right here, that goes all the way around. Well, not all the way around, but halfway around. And another circle that goes around. Whoops. This way. Okay. Set this to be 85. Yep. It's just the same as the other one, pretty much. Circle up here. That this needs to be 70. Yes. And then the distance between here to here should be 120. And then there should be a line from here to here that are tangent. Another line from here, whoops, to, it made that horizontal for a second there. To another tangent right here. Okay. So yeah, all of these are fully defined. I'm gonna delete all these because we don't need them. Make another circle up here. This needs to have a diameter of, what, 30? Yeah, 30. Okay. And then just mirror everything over that center line that we made. I accidentally included the center line. Okay. And there we go. Now we just need to set this again. Okay, cool. So now that we have this sketch done, we can just go and extrude this. We can extrude this outwards because we already set the length for this to be 100. So this needs to be, I believe, 20 as well. Yeah, that makes sense. So there we go. Right. Okay, so now to make the actual ones that come out of the pipe like that, like the other three. So to make those, what we're going to do is make another plane from, again, this point, but this time from the top plane as well. So that way it's completely flat and goes along the edge, like goes along the length of this entire thing. And we're going to sketch on the top of this. So we're just going to make a circle on this center line that we made earlier. 2 circles. Okay, so one of them is going to be for the outer edge, which is 120, and then one of them is going to be for the inner edge, which is 100. Right? So that's what the actual inside of the tube looks like. And then I'm just going to do the linear sketch pattern now. So I'm going to select these 2 patterns to be what we're going to like make a pattern out of. Going to set these to be 200 millimeters apart because that's what they are here. I need to make 3 of them. Yes, okay. So 3 of them, just like that. And then I need to set the dimension for this, and it says that it's 200 millimeters apart from the very first one. So if I just select this point again, if it'll let me select the point right there, to 200, it should set that first one to 200, but these other ones I also still need to set. So just like that. Hey, okay. So with those, we can just start doing a bunch of extrusions. So I need to do an extrude cut with not the sketch selected as my contour. I need to select the, whoops, where am I? Okay, there we go. I need to select the inside of each circle and make these go up to next so that they cut into the bottom of this pipe. Just like that. And then I need to do, not an extrude cut, I need to do a boss extrude on the same sketch, or extrude boss, yeah. That goes all the way down, also up to the surface of this. There we go. So now, if we look at it from the inside, we can see the inside of the pipe, right? And what we're gonna do to make this curve all at once, we can't do a linear pattern because it needs the sketch for it to make the sweat bosser base. So what we're gonna do instead is we are just going to basically just copy and paste the same sketch over and over again. So on a reference geometry, we're just gonna make another plane from the plane 2 that we made here. We're just gonna set the offset to be 200, right? So that way it's in the middle of each one, and we're just gonna set this to have 3 different ones. Yep. So now we have all these extra planes. We can hide this one. We don't need this one anymore. And I'm gonna sketch on this plane. I'm gonna go dig through here. Let's see, it was it this one? It was this one. So this sweep has sketch 14 in it, or sketch 4 in it, which has the actual lines in it. I'm just gonna select the line, and I'm just gonna click convert entities. That basically just copies it onto the plane that we were on, that we were sketching on. So we're just gonna do the same thing on here. Just go in here, click the sketch 4, convert entities, exit sketch. Same thing on this one. Select sketch 4, convert entities, exit sketch. Okay. And then with that, we can go back into our original sketch that had all of these in it, which is, I believe, sketch 7? No, it was boss extrude, sketch 6. It was you. Do a sweat bosser base with one of these lines. There we go. And it should do it for all of them. Yeah. Okay. So now we can hide all of these now. Nope, didn't want to sketch on that. Just wanted to hide it. Okay. So after we hit all of those, we can also hide these 2 as well, because we don't need those. We can do a linear pattern on this, but I want to show you guys something very important. If we do a linear pattern, if we select the direction to be this axis, and I want it to pattern this feature, right? I want to make sure that these are 200 set apart, and it'll do them for all of these 3. Okay. If we do this, and if you have geometry pattern selected, if you try to do this, it'll make them, but it won't have the holes in them, right? So the reason why is because of that geometry pattern. Geometry pattern, I read through some of the like instruction manuals for SolidWorks. Geometry pattern makes it so that it ignores any end conditions. So anything that has to do with like the end of a line, or like it has to do with anything that happens at the end of something, like an end condition is literally just anything that happens at the end of a certain of a certain object. So in this case, the end condition would be that at the end of this line, there should be a cut extrude for this pipe. It just ignores that. It doesn't take it into account. So that's good for when you have to make a lot of patterns that don't really like that would be tricky to copy and paste, like the honeycomb, for example. But in this case, we need that hole to be in there. So I need that to be taken into account. So I'm just gonna unselect geometry pattern, and it should remake them with the holes in it, which it does. So yeah, if a linear pattern never works, or it doesn't work for what you need it to do, just make sure linear or geometry pattern isn't selected. But that is the exhaust manifold. That's how you make it. It's pretty similar to the one from, let's see, I believe it's lecture 20. Yeah, this one is basically just the same thing, but a little bit easier since it doesn't have to go curved in anymore, or it has a curve here at the end, or these, yeah. But you know, it's still pretty much the same thing. So shout out to Michael for letting me know that the videos are actually helpful. I'm glad that at least one person is finding them helpful in some way. So yeah, that's about it for Lab 7 and also the review for this. I'm sorry for not getting this video out before the exam. I've been really busy with that project that we're just now finishing up. So I'll be able to get back on the grind for more videos soon. So yeah, that's about it. Good luck on the projects, and we'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye-bye.